What's up, guys? This is Sudoku Warrior back with another episode of Simple Souls. So, for this episode, we're going to be heading to the Darkroot Garden in order to get a couple souls to level up and eventually end up using the Claymore. Well, if you haven't been introduced before, this dude is Andre of Astora, and he is the person that will be allowing us to reinforce our Claymore. Right now, though, since you'll probably have some extra souls, you'll want to reinforce your Dragon Crest shield. Now, when you reinforce a shield, it doesn't increase damage reduced by the shield. It doesn't make it stronger or anything like that. But what it does do is add stability. And shield stability determines how much stamina you lose when you block a hit. The higher the stability, the lower the stamina you lose. Alright, so when you make your way through this first little chamber with that electric shooting Titanite demon, just run past him. He's not too hard of a fight. But right now, he does a little bit too much damage for us to really be able to kill easily. Alright, so those little bush things are demonic foliage, according to the wikis, and they have a grab attack that's really, really annoying if they manage to hit you with, where they basically just pick you up and chew on you a little bit. I'll probably be able to get one of these guys to do it in a minute, but for fighting them for the most part, they do a lot of damage with their little whip-like arms that have a ton of range, but they do stagger easily and their arms bounce off of pretty much anything. So yeah, they're pretty simple to kill, even in groups. There's the first one, dead, and that's a little grab attack. They like to jump back after they do it too, but falling around with that ranged stab makes them a really, really easy kill. Alrighty, so yeah, pick up that soul there, and head on to the bonfire. Even though you can't see it right now, there's actually just a little invisible wall, well, immaterial wall that you can just roll through and rest at a bonfire over here. Alright, having done that, get out any of the souls that you might think you need and pop them to level up. The goal of this video is really to go kill another boss and grab some gear, which will let us reach that 76 poise breakpoint that I was talking about a couple of videos ago, and get our strength up to 16, enough to wield the claymore with one hand. As it is right now, we can use it two-handed, but it's not upgraded at all, so it won't be doing very much damage. You can use it anyway. Yeah, so up ahead, there's a little trap with a soul at the center of it. There are 3 more of those little demonic ent bush thingies, and you can actually damage them when they're in the ground, and they're pretty easy to stagger, especially with this claymore. That's one of the things it actually does best against all enemies. It is capable of what is called stun locking, which is repeatedly hitting an enemy without giving them time to recover and hit back at you. So anyways, when you grab it, one of those bushes is going to pop up. When they pop out of the ground, they do have a couple of frames of invincibility when you can't do anything to them, so it's kind of a little bit annoying having to wait for that. Either way, they die pretty quick if you just bludgeon them. So at this point, you'll probably want to pull down Astora's straight sword, because we're going to be doing a little bit of lumberjacking. If you head over to your right, as soon as you get in here, there's a little tree that it turns out you can actually kill. When you do kill it, it will open up a path, and that path will lead us to a very useful ring. There's a really weird lizard frog manta ray thing right here, and they don't really have any attacks to worry about. All they really can do is lash out their tongue at you. Their bodies do tend to fall through the floor, so if they do drop loot, which they drop green blossoms, which can be pretty useful because they allow you to make your stamina regenerate at a higher rate for a short period. They're really, really good for boss fights, and they're almost for every PvP build a must-have. Break this tree down, by the way, even though it's not really in your way, or else it'll rotate and close off that little path and leave us to fight a couple giant stone knights. All right, so head up this little pathway and ignore the stone knight that you're about to see and go grab the ring that is right around the corner. It's the wolf ring. It gives you 40 extra points of poise, which is almost as much as this entire, actually, slightly less than this entire armor set has. So for fighting the stone knights, fighting them's a pretty terrible idea at this point because they are so much more powerful than you. But you can block pretty much everything they have and just kind of walk past them. They do a little thing where they hold up their sword and emit an aura, and that aura slows you down and makes it where you can't roll when you're near them. There's another one that you're going to see at the bottom of the stairway right here, but you can just run past him as well because they are pretty slow. Head to your left and just follow that path that you took in back out, and they should not chase you all the way back. And so coming up in this area, there's another armor set that's pretty important. It is the Elite Knight armor. When you pop out into this little area, you can either head to the right and grab the armor set, or if you don't think it's necessary, you can head around to the left, and if you hug the left wall, there's only one enemy that will attack you on your way to the boss battle. Underneath the first flight of stairs here, there is a summon that makes this boss a lot easier, but like I've said before, this guide is really for people that don't have humanity or might not be as able to summon, I suppose. It's for people who have died a lot. So you can see my bit of professional editing there. I died the first time I fought the moonlight butterfly because I decided to be stupid and jump into a lot of its attacks. Anyways, so when you're fighting this guy, there is a dodge window for his 9 spear of death attack. As soon as it generates, dodge, because that will the amount of time that the dodge lasts is long enough to keep you from getting hit by any of the spears if you time it properly. He also has another attack that does a lot of damage where he lets out 3 little homing balls at you, and those do a ridiculous amount of damage, but they're really easy to dodge as long as you don't dodge backwards. Always dodge to either the side or straight into them. You can block with your shield, but the Dragon Crest shield only blocks 20% of magic damage. So, the only time you get to damage this boss is when he lands. When he does, just go at him, smack him down, beat him up. And remember, when you see the giant pulsing aura of doom, back off, because that explosion will probably one-shot you. Take this chance to equip some humanity if you have any. Like I said, you probably won't at this point if you're still a new player, but it can be nice to have extra healing ability. So yeah, Moonlight Butterfly is more or less all about just dodging, and waiting. If you have magic of any sort or pyromancy, just use that, throw some at it, shoot some stuff at it, kills it pretty quick. Yep. We're gonna need these souls up here in a minute so we can get to one-handing the claymore. And so we go back and forth and back and forth. If you summon the summon for this boss fight, which Beatrice, she is the only summon that's available for one of the endgame bosses, the Four Kings. It's not really, I wouldn't really recommend summoning her for the Four Kings later, because summons, when you have them, increase the boss's health as compared to what it would have been if it was just you going at it solo. So the Four Kings it's all about killing them as fast as you can, and they already have way more than enough health anyway. But that's much later. So, yep, dodge the blasting aura of doom again, and go back to your dodging and dodging. This is probably my least favorite boss fight in Dark Souls. It's just intensely boring. None of the rest of them are this dull, except for perhaps Pinwheel, but he's too much of a joke to actually count, and we will get to him later. Also, when the moonlight butterfly does fly over the bridge like that, watch out for another giant death explosion ball thing that it shoots at you, because that will, I think he's fixing to shoot one. Yep, right there. It does quite a bit of damage, especially if it directly hits you, if it doesn't just scrape you like it did me. So, you should land again pretty soon. We'll be able just to smash his face in. Here we go. Yep, this should do it. Just keep whacking away with your strong attack. Looks like another hit or two will have him finished off. Alright, so as soon as you've done that, go head up the tower to your right, and at the top of that tower you'll find the Divine Ember. The Divine Ember isn't important to us at all for this playthrough, but there is a Homeward Bone, which is nice, so that way we don't have to walk all the way back through all those enemies in the forest and risk losing all of these souls. So yeah, go grab it. There are a couple of other petrified blacksmiths holding embers in this game. There's another one in the Painted World of Ariamis, and no, they don't actually mean anything. It's just a little statue-like thing that the developers decided to put, and the model got reused in a couple places. Fun fact, the key that comes with the Divine Ember and that Homeward Bone unlocks the tower that Havel the Rock is in. If you remember him from the earlier videos, we got in there with the Master Key when we were getting Havel's Ring. But yep, pump your strength up to where you can one-hand that Claymore. If you need to, use the soul of the Moonlight Butterfly. It's pretty useless, and it is only worth 1,200 souls. But that should get us to where we can level up again, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.